Good morning. Welcome to the forecast discussion for Tuesday, September 29th, 2015. We have a lot to talk about, so let's just dive right into it because there is a lot of information to go over here. So, as of this morning, we have temperatures in the mid to upper 60s over the far northern interior, upper 60s to lower 70s in your suburbs, and along the coast. We have winds from the southeast at around 5 miles per hour with some low-level fog. Visibility basically around 2 to 4 miles, lifting rapidly, and looking for a variable clouds for today with showers developing to our west. And this will be the start of a very, very wet period of weather for the northern Mid-Atlantic. We're definitely going to catch up as far as our drought is concerned over the next 5 to 7 days. So let's dive into this forecast. So you've probably been hearing quite a bit about superstorms and Sandy-like storms. I've seen that on the Weather Channel of all places. So let's step back from all the hype, let's call it what it is, and let's dive into what's actually happening step by step. So first of all, on the surface map, we have our low pressure systems out here in the Gulf of Mexico. This one's somewhat tropical. This one is extratropical. These low pressure systems will lift north and become entrained in this cold front right here. The combination of these two features will produce quite a bit of rainfall starting tonight, continuing on through tomorrow, looking at 1 to 3 inches of rain. Going 1 to 3, the reason why there is that range is because we're going to have some very heavy downpours within this overall rainfall shield. And some locations are going to end up with 2-3 inches with rainfall rates of a half an inch to an inch per hour in some isolated cases. And as a result, some locations will miss out on the heavy rain, but still push to around an inch of rain in general. So going for a 1 to 3 inch range throughout the region, we'll have to watch out for each location for the potential for significant flash flooding, mostly of roadways. Because of our drought, we're not really looking at this time river flooding or stream flooding because, quite frankly, with all the dry ground around, the bigger concern is going to be the initial wash off of topsoil and, of course, impacts on roadways, especially if there's any clogged sewers in urban areas. So that is going to be more of a concern here. So that's the first part. And then the second part is our tropical storm Joaquin, which is out here in the Atlantic here that we're going to have to watch out for very carefully. We'll get to that in a moment. So here is our current radar. You can see the showers starting to develop here over central and western Pennsylvania. This will increase in coverage and push towards the east as the cold front approaches, and thus leading to periods of moderate to heavy rainfall throughout the region starting late tonight and continuing on through tomorrow. For today, again, we'll watch out for these scattered showers developing, isolated this morning, scattered this afternoon, becoming widespread as we head towards midnight tonight. Now, we're going to step back and use what I love to call the water vapor satellite picture. It kind of gives you an idea of exactly what's going on in the atmosphere. It's one of my favorite tools to use for forecasting. So we got the first part right here. Here's all your tropical moisture. Here's your upper level low. It's starting to interact with the polar jet stream, which is right here. And thus we set up our heavy rain event for tonight on through Wednesday. The cold front associated with this trough stalls out around the New Jersey coastal waters, producing scattered showers on Thursday into Friday morning. Showers may be heavy at times, but it's kind of the break before the next round of very heavy rainfall. Now, here is our tropical storm out here. The question going into this forecast is, as this piece of the polar jet stream breaks off and kind of cuts off into an upper level low, how much does it pick up Jocelyn? And, of course, there's a question of how strong is the tropical storm by that point? Will the strong shear, which is basically strong upper level winds from the southwest, tear apart this storm and thus leading it into basically becoming an extratropical feature, which is a lot of heavy rain? Or does it become something more? Right now, and I know there's been a lot of comparisons with Sandy, the main difference between Sandy and this storm is that Sandy, when it intensified and became a Category 3 hurricane to the east of North Carolina had a ridge over it and was able to intensify over the Gulf Stream. In this case, there is no ridge over this storm. This storm is in a constant hostile environment for intensification. In fact, the center is here. The storms are all down here. Okay, so there are a lot of differences here. Let's deal with what we have, not what could show up in a Hollywood movie. What we have here is a tropical storm with a lot of moisture under a very strong shear environment, which makes it unlikely for it to rapidly intensify, but slowly intensify, which will interact with a trough with polar air behind it, cold dry air or cool dry air for this time of year, behind this trough, behind this advancing cold front, with an upper level low over the southeast, and then a nice block over the Canadian Maritimes, leading to a slow exit. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a lot of rain. We're looking at anywhere from 2 to 5 inches of rain additional on top of the 1 to 3 inches of rain that we will see between now and Wednesday. Throw in the scattered showers, and then you're talking about a 5 to 8 inch rainfall event over the next 5 to 6 days. So that's quite a bit of rainfall. As far as the stats on our tropical storm, winds are 40 miles per hour. So again, it's barely a tropical storm at this point. Pressure is at 1,002 millibars. It's moving to the west at 5 miles per hour, and it is expected to continue to move to the west. Then you can see it drives up northward, and this is where it gets caught in the trough here and starts to become entrained into the trough. So notice that it kind of meanders around, kind of waits for something to pick it up, and once something picks it up, it just fires right up to the north. And the forecast right now is to keep it a tropical storm. There are some models that push it up to a weak hurricane status for a very short period of time to the east of the Carolinas before being torn apart. So there is that factor. There are other models, in fact, that are even more, well, let's just say extreme in terms of impacts and evolution. The European model, in fact, went from this becoming a Category 3 hurricane slamming into North Carolina and kind of meandering around New Jersey and whatnot, to now just sitting around the Bahamas and then heading out towards Bermuda, not even impacting us. So you can see how the models are having a very difficult time with the evolution of this storm. So I'm going to show you the infrared satellite picture again. Here we have the setup once again where we have our deep tropical moisture lifting northward. Here's our cold front approaching from the west. And so a complicated scenario is certainly setting up, but for now, we'll see exactly how it evolves over the next several days. For now, I would say prepare for very heavy rainfall for tonight on through Wednesday and tomorrow, and then look for scattered showers on Thursday, and then even more heavy rain Friday, Saturday, into Sunday morning. So let's dive into this forecast here and break it all apart for you. So again, for this time period right here, look for showers to increase. Temperatures rather muggy, rising into the upper 70s to lower 80s today with a rather humid air mass. Tonight, showers become widespread. Temperatures fall into the mid to upper 70s. Overnight tonight, periods of moderate to heavy rain develops throughout the region. That continues into tomorrow morning with lows in the upper 60s to lower 70s. Temperatures don't move all that much tomorrow, only in the lower to mid 70s with periods of heavy rainfall. Again, looking at 1 to 3 inches of rain before this low pressure system leaves. And on Thursday morning, scattered showers are expected with temperatures on Thursday in the lower to mid 50s for lows and upper 50s to lower 60s for highs. As you can see, that cool air mass builds in with our high pressure locked into the north. Now we get to the interesting part once again on Friday morning. Here comes Tropical Storm Jacqueline. Here's our cold front that's stalled off the coast. See, we have a surface presence of an upper level low here trying to develop, and while this is happening, moisture is streaming up along this cold front, producing periods of very heavy rainfall throughout the region. By the time we get to Saturday morning, the tropical storm is interacting with the trough. It starts to become a surface low along the cold front, so we have a lot of interaction here, a lot of changes in the storm structure, a very complicated pattern setting up here. But the overall theme here is very heavy rainfall with winds from the east around 20 to 30 miles per hour, possibly gusting higher. And then by Sunday morning, we have a non-tropical low pressure system to the east of Long Island. Now, again, there's a debate as far as whether you get like an inverted trough back here towards the Great Lakes, or whether the low pressure system backs towards the Great Lakes, or just kind of sits over the region on Saturday night into Sunday. That all has to be worked out. But the overall setup here is some very heavy rainfall. So with all that being said, on Friday, look for low temperatures in the lower to mid 50s, high temperatures in the lower to mid 60s. On Saturday, you get that tropical air mass pushed in. So you get lower to mid 60s for lows, mid 70s for highs while it is pouring out. And then on Sunday, with the low pressure system meandering around the region, slowly lifting out, look for low temperatures in the mid to upper 60s, high temperatures in the upper 60s to lower 70s, with anywhere from 5 to 8 inches of rain by the time everything's all said and done from tonight all the way to Sunday afternoon. So that's quite a bit of rainfall. Then after that, low pressure leaves, high pressure is in place, and temperatures are in the mid to upper 50s for lows and upper 60s to lower 70s for highs. So the moral of the story here, ladies and gentlemen, is to prepare for very heavy rainfall, prepare for flash flooding and rather rough driving conditions starting tonight and continuing on really all the way until Sunday morning. If you have any outdoor plans from now through this weekend, sorry, cancel them, because you're going to be dealing with a lot of rainfall. As far as any superstorms or anything of that nature, don't really see much support for it right now. Of course, we'll watch the development of the tropical storm to see how it interacts with the trough. But right now, the key thing to focus on is the heavy rainfall and the potential for flash flooding, especially in urban areas with poor drainage and also in areas where you have some small streams and potential for some mudslides with this heavy rainfall running off the topsoil of a rather dry land. So something that we're definitely going to watch. Of course, I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. Thank you for following NYNJPA weather, and as always, stay safe out there.